everyone. It is your girl Remi, and thank you for joining me on another episode of Self Centered. As you all know, I have Hakeem here, always bringing a fresh perspective. So thanks for joining us. And then a new face to y'all, but not so new to me, is Rose. Super happy to have you here.
Hey guys. Well, hi, my name is Rose. This is Smokey. I'm an artist. I am a historian. I work a day job as a manager. I do it all. But here I am giving everybody my lovely opinion today.
Cool. So today we are going to hop right in and kind of talk about something that's probably on everyone's minds, especially as cuffing season is headed to the playoffs. So there was an article in, I want to say, Vogue, that talked about the idea of having a boyfriend. And is that embarrassing now as a woman? And of course, it sparked all of the discourse on TikTok and Twitter. So I'll let Hakeem start because he
Okay.
seemed to have some pretty strong opinions on it.
So my strong opinions were more coming from a place of, I think we need more media literacy in the schools because what the article was saying in the talks that in the points that I'm seeing from like social media, whether it be like Twitter, Instagram, or TikTok, are far
Hmm.
different. Where I'm seeing the talks on social media are a lot more. I don't want to say no, they pretty much deviate from the original talking points.
Okay.
Hence why I brought this up to Remy for us to discuss and everything such as that. But
Okay.
honestly, since the article was more from the perspective of the woman, I'll let y'all go first before I bring my own thoughts because I also read the article too. But I got some. I want to hear what y'all think first.
Yeah. And like, just to provide like a brief summary, and like, Rose, please feel free to chime in if I'm missing anything. It just kind of talked about like what I got from it was that sometimes being partnered can feel a little performative, and it feels like there's a pressure to have a partner if you're a heterosexual woman to affirm your womanhood. But women of today are now kind of pushing back on that idea that you're not going to be a spinster if you're not married by like 30, and that you can be your own individual and be successful, and all of that is okay. I don't know what you got from it, Rose.
I think my interpretation was like on a similar line,
Mm-hmm.
but more so of, nowadays as a woman, it's really not the end of the world if you're single for forever. Honestly, it's a great thing. And I think at this point, it's just most women are capable of doing what they need to on their own. So they don't
Yeah.
need to attach themselves to a man. So I thought of it as a great, I guess a great op-ed of just, oh, not op-ed, but like just a great opinion of like, oh, I don't need a man in this day and age.
Yeah.
I just thought the one part where they said, what was it? Where I guess the performative aspect of it, I guess being attached to a man and then not being attached to that man, the looks of it looks so terrible, which I thought
Mhm.
was hilarious. But yeah, I feel like some are on the same path.
Yeah. Now, I agree. I do think that as a single young woman in today's age, pursuing a graduate degree, I think there is like a pressure to have like to be partnered, because there's this idea of like, oh, having it all. Like, yes, you'll have the career, you'll have like the friendship, but you also need to have the man. And I think that in some ways it is very performative, because I think the idea of having it all is not necessarily for you as the person, it's to show everyone else, hey, look, I'm better than you because I have a man. And I don't agree with that. I feel like the best version of yourself should just be the one where you're happy with the life that you have. Whatever that looks like, if it involves a man, like, okay, go ahead, sis. If it doesn't, that's cool too.
So yeah, so
Yeah, he was
I'm a
like,
jump in only because like when I first heard of the article, I was like, "Well, that's interesting." that, having a partner, having a boyfriend is now embarrassing because, it used to be a time where it was like, oh, guys can't commit, guys can't commit, guys can't commit. And now guys are committing. Mind you, this is this is a mutual decision, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now all of a sudden, now again, from what I've heard from my platonic friends, some of the
Mm-hmm.
guys there are a little embarrassing. I will give y'all that. But from what the article was saying, where it was more so the image of having a boyfriend kind of, I don't want to say ruins, but it kind of, I don't know, maybe disrupts the illusion. I don't know. I just saw that as like, wow, like you could be like an actual like supportive partner and everything such as that, do all the right things and still be labeled as embarrassing. So now it's sort of like, I don't want to say like, the CIA is winning or anything like that, but it's just a very weird time for an article like that to drop, especially in the economic and societal times that we are in right now. That's all.
I see what you're saying. And I do agree that the title of the article was a bit clickbaity in and of itself. And I think that was intentional. Like they want people to read the article, they want their clicks. Like
Hmm.
I get where they're coming from. Like they out here to get eyes on their material, their content. In terms of like, I can't speak to if guys are committing or not. I get the sense that like the dating pool is rough both ways. Like guys and girls are not getting what they want. And I think it's because I was actually on TikTok and there was someone summarizing like political slash ideological beliefs of men and women, assuming that they're all heterosexual. And it said that a lot of men and women just have very polarizing beliefs now, that we're on opposite ends of ideological spectrums, if you will. And I think that makes it hard to find complementary partners. Like it's very hard to reconcile being in love with someone who has such opposing views to what you have. And I'm not saying that you can't disagree on things. I think healthy disagreement is a part of any balanced relationship. But when it's so polarizing, it gets to a point. I think that might be part of it. I don't know.
I think what it is that nowadays, oof, there's a lot of that to unpack. I think what it is that nowadays, I feel like men have been stuck in this idea of like, basically, as long as I'm masculine, I can get whatever woman I want. Bonus
Mm.
points if I do everything I'm supposed to do as a man. And I feel like for a lot of women, I mean, especially nowadays, especially within the last few decades, we've all kind of been pushed to this idea of, yo, you're a girl now. And since, feminism came up, we're pushing women to go to colleges, we're pushing women to get these degrees. You've gotten to a point where a lot of women can provide for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of men are basically looking for women to provide for them. But it's like something there, it just isn't clicking. Because if I have everything all down pat, if I see a man with money, all I need for you is to be decent.
Okay.
Sometimes niggas just don't be decent no more. Sorry, guys.
Oh, you said a couple of
Okay.
things there, and I just want to challenge it a little bit, right?
Okay.
Because I get the whole, what is it called? It's sort of like, women can provide for themselves now, which is great, especially as society is going through, pushing forward, more progressive and everything such as that. But here comes the essential question. What do y'all women
Mm-hmm.
want in a society where you're able to have your own? Because part of it is, do you want true equity, or is it, are y'all looking for a soft patriarchy where, again, we hear man is standing in the sections, man is standing next to the DJs. Oh, who gonna be the man? Who's gonna be the man? But in a society that you're looking for, does that even matter?
Does what even matter? Sorry.
No,
Yeah.
does
Clarify.
that matter? Like, are we still playing these like societal gender roles, even though we are supposed to be progressing forward? So basically, my question is, as we're progressing forward, what is the end goal? What is the end game between, men and women in these heterosexual relationships? Is it, you know, you do the you still, build the houses, you still build the cars, and when I, cook and clean and everything like that, just, I can make my own money? Or is it like there are no, or not necessarily no rules, but we just have to go to each other and just say, hey, what do we want this relationship to look like?
I think a great I'm going to use this as an example. I'm going to use one of those skills as an example. Cooking.
Mm.
I think every relationship I enter, they expect me as a woman to know how to cook. And I find it funny because in my head, because hey, my dad knew how to cook. So when if I get into a marriage, I'm hoping that whoever I get with also knows how to cook, because then we both could cook. That means that I don't have to cook every day. I think equitable is more of just the idea that I can come to my partner, and because they know how to cook and I know how to cook, we can both come together and figure out who's going to cook. We both could cook together. I could cook one day, he could cook one day, another day. We could swap it off, but like at least we have the option of figuring out who gets to delegate that. I don't ever want to be in a relationship where I'm already working, they're already working, but they expect me to do all the extra chores. I'm just expecting more of a whenever I'm with someone and we both have a certain amount of skills, equitable is we both have these skills, we can come together and figure out who's going to delegate what. That may look like that could be different for other people. Listen, some women really do want soft patriarchy. It's just not me.
Yeah, I to kind of tag on to that last part, Rose, I think that Hakeem, it's hard to say what do all women want. I think that's a very individual question, and what each person wants in a relationship is going to vary. And I think as people define their own relationships, you have to define for yourself what makes sense for you, for the both of you in a relationship. And it's not the same as cherry picking, it's called compromise. There are values that you hold as a person that are central to you, and you have to decide which ones are you okay with, like, compromising on. Like, are all of these things deal breakers for you? If so, then that's your prerogative. I think as a woman, what personally would like to see in a relationship is a form of balance. Like, we are expected to be two whole adults on our own who are able to sustain ourselves independent of another person. But when we come together, what we're looking for is companionship, someone to kind of go along this life journey with, and not just, oh, well, this is a live-in maid or he is a live-in ATM machine. Does having someone around make a lot of things easier? Yeah, you're not the only one taking out the trash, doing all the laundry, doing everything. It helps to share the load. Like, that's just across the board. But there's also a piece on the intimacy side where it's like, this is someone who I can really share my space with at a deep level. So I think a lot of women are looking for a relationship that does not solely focus on these like mundane tasks. Like, who cares who's cooking? Like, you should be able to cook because you're an adult who lives on your own. And I should be able to cook because I'm an adult that lives on my own. But
Absolutely.
I'm looking for someone who's willing to share life with me.
Okay, so not to let me see. I don't think it's switching topics. I think it's more of a tangent on that, right? Because
Hmm.
as we agree, correct me if I'm wrong here, everybody should be looking at their own relationships going forward as we're progressing on an individual basis of just, having a conversation. What do you want this relationship to look like? What do you, well, I don't even want to say roles, but, like how do you want to go about things, et cetera, right?
Hmm.
Now, I'm going to shoot y'all an example real quick. So there's I don't want to say it's like super trending, but there's a little bit of a trend going, not a trend, but there's a story going on where there was a woman, she was black, I'm assuming Nigerian, where her partner proposed, this was in Dallas, her partner proposed to her by shutting down a whole street block and renting out drones to spell the engagement and everything like that.
Yeah.
And Shawty got there, not necessarily. Well, I guess she was elated that she was engaged and everything, but she went and pointed at everybody and said, "My man is doing this. Y'all man isn't doing this." And then later found out the details were that he spent 18 no sorry he spent 8,000 renting the drones and on the rink, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's always that couple of videos coming about like, this is the baseline. If your man's not doing this, he don't like you, yada yada yada. That's not where I'm going at. What I'm getting at is that particular story of the engagement goes back again to the article where again there was a portion in there that was saying that some like women we may have talked we may have said this earlier too, but sometimes women do get into relationships not necessarily even for the benefit of themselves, but it's also for that showboating, I would say, to other women. And I mean, I have a personal story with that where actually, oh, let me not get too personal here. But essentially I'm bringing that up to say is like, and I think there's always a spotlight on guys like, oh, guys want a trophy wife, and everything like that. There's a woman who cooks, cleans, and all that good stuff. But like, I want to get y'all perspective on the reverse of that. Of like, do y'all see like women have partners that they just showboat and don't even ask him, "You having a good day? Do you need anything from me or anything like that?" You know what I'm saying?
Honestly, I've seen it before, and it's personally my favorite thing to witness. Just off the idea that there are definitely women that almost make it their personality to be in a relationship, and they make it their whole personhood that they're always attached to someone else. And I've definitely ended friendships off the fact of like, I don't know why you think you're better than me because you have a man. At least I'm funny. Like I could care less, you know? But me personally, it's just one of those things where it's like, if that's what they want to do, that's what they want to do. Like, there's some people that make it their personality be a womanizer. Yo, like, do what you want.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's really none of my business. Like, as long as you're not making it as if it's a competition against me. That's just how I feel.
Yeah.
Because it's one of those things you're not ever
Yeah.
going to evade from. You just got to make sure you're not going to be the one that suffers from it.
Yeah. I mean, society like conditions women from a very young age to believe that having a boyfriend or husband or fiance is I don't want to say a goal, but is like
It's
something
something to achieve.
to
It's an
strive
achievement.
for. Yeah, it's an achievement. Yes, that's exactly it. Thanks, Rose. And so there are women who it doesn't matter what that man looks like, how that man treats them. They want the ability to say, my man, my man, my man, my man. And that man could be a literal gargoyle that treats them like dirt. But because they have the man, they are like, I am better than you single women, you spinsters. I'm better than y'all. And I don't agree with that, I think. And that's where we started. I don't agree with that. I think you should have a whole life. You should be very happy with who you are as a person. You should have meaningful relationships, meaningful friendships. You should have purpose in your career or whatever it is that you want to do. I don't think that's a productive use of your time to be showboating a man because truth be told, people don't care. We probably act like we care on the internet because it's something salacious, like it's something to talk about, it's something that we can interact with. But at the end of the day, I'm gonna go to work tomorrow and I'm not gonna think about that girl with her drones. It's wonderful, shout out to her, but at the end of the day, it doesn't pay my bill. It doesn't feed me. So I don't
Yeah.
care. So I think the women who stand on that hill, ready to die on that hill, like, yes, I have a man, you should be jealous of me. Okay, sis, you got it.
Yeah, I don't know if you thought we would care more, but we don't. Sorry.
We don't. We literally don't care. Like, I think there's a part of them that wants other women to be mad. Like, yeah, you girls are mad.
Yeah, but like we move past that. There's so many other ways to accomplish things. Like, oh my gosh,
Yes,
you have a boyfriend. Like, oh my gosh, I have a boyfriend. You don't. I got my master's. You don't. Now look at me. I'm hating. Come on, guys.
exactly.
There was never.
Like, yeah, like I'm a published scientist. And what are you doing? Sitting around waiting for a man to call you. Girl, wrap it up. Like, you need a hobby. And maybe this is my little old head belief. Everybody needs to pick up a book. Pick up a book, pick up a something. It's these phones. Y'all
I
be on
think
these
if
phones
people
for
read
too long.
more and took up more hobbies, we
Yes.
genuinely wouldn't be having this discussion.
Yes.
You don't need a man when you know how to knit. You don't need a man when you know how to read a book. You don't need a man when you know how to paint. Fill up your free time with something.
Yes. Like our parents never lied when they said go pick up a book. So I mean, it not to be reductionist of your point, but it really is just like we don't care. Most people don't. And the women who want to play the boyfriend Olympics, y'all all get together and do your thing.
Damn.
Actually, I'll do one
Okay,
even better. I'll
interesting.
organize it.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I think there's just so much more to being a woman in this day and age. I think about all the women who are doing amazing things. Like, as you said, you're getting your master's. Like, when I think about what we are able to do, to sit here and have your entire life be spinning on the axis of whether or not you have a man, just to me, it's like, why do you want to be reduced to that?
Like you're not even reduced to like a piece of
Another
your
person.
personality. You just want to be
Yeah.
attached to something. Like you don't want anything part of yourself.
Yes. Yeah. So, I mean, people are going to do what they want to do. It is what it is. Dating is quite difficult and it's hard to find what you want. And I think we're in a time where women don't have to settle for what they don't want because they don't have any other means to get to what they want. And when I say like means, I'm talking about like money.
Sometimes people just go for anything because they ain't got it like that.
Exactly.
So now, since we have this discussion, because I know what I want to say, but what what advice would you give to, your peers who are navigating this dating market right now with all the social media nonsense going on, all the trends, all the talking points, all the stories that are coming about? Like, what would, from y'all aged wisdom?
Age is
I'm not even
crazy.
25 yet. Don't
Let
do
me
that.
start there.
Okay, my
Yeah.
fault, y'all. My fault. My fault. My fault. I was trying to put y'all on high regard. My fault. But like, what are some words of advice y'all got for the audience?
Social media quite literally doesn't exist. I like
Yeah.
just the whole. It's just a whole lot. I feel like social media is like walking into what's what's that place called? A landfill. It's like walking into a
Damn.
landfill. And yeah, sure, like you might grab a few gems, like a few funny memes and maybe like a very important piece of wisdom or whatever like that. But you gotta understand, it's just everybody just talking bullshit. Like, and there's really no other way to word it. I feel like if I worded it any other way, like it would really it make it seem a lot less than what it is. But I just feel like everybody's gonna say what they say. Everybody's gonna have their opinion. That doesn't mean you have to read it and believe that it's real. Some people just be
Nah.
bullshitting. Yeah,
You're saying
social
social
media
media is
is like a literal landfill.
yes.
Because I feel like just generally, yeah, you might find a few like nice gems, like maybe a few interesting memes, maybe like I don't know, a nice recipe, whatever. But all in all, it's just everybody just saying bullshit. Like people already living fake lives, so what makes you think that their opinion makes sense? Please just focus on yourself.
Yes. Yeah, I would agree. So I actually have two really close friends that are in very deep committed relationships. One of whom they're engaged, and the other relationship they've been together for about 5 or 6 years. And what I notice about them, they have never spoken, like when they speak to me about the dynamic of their relationship, they never bring up social media talking points. I've never heard them talk about masculine or feminine energy, traditional roles in the relationship. I've never heard them talk about those things. They focus on the things that matter to them. So if there is an argument, it's usually like, "Oh, I realize that they have this core value that I didn't realize bothered me until now. Is this a breaking point for me, or is this something that we can work through?" And
Mm-hmm.
like it's all about how they are choosing to navigate with their person and how the other person feels about things that they're doing. There's never, I feel like the reason why a lot of relationships are not working is because there's too many people in them. Y'all got you,
Ooh,
your
wait, hold
partner,
on, whoa, whoa,
and then
hold
the
on,
rest
hold,
is
hold on.
social media.
Hold on. Yeah, wait. Yeah, we gotta sit on that one real quick because there's too many
Many
people
people in
in
the
the damn.
relationship.
Yo, let's
I
actually
me
let's
and you.
actually meditate on that.
Yes, it's
It's
too
me and you.
many
Why all the
people.
Twitter here?
Yeah, because why are you having an argument with your partner? Now you want to come on TikTok, do story time with us, and then get mad when we put our 2 cents in.
Because you want to go back to that nigga, and we don't.
Exactly. You're not going to leave your man. You're not going to leave your girl. You're not going to leave your whoever. So just navigate your problems on your own. Stop bringing us into the mix because we don't have any skin in the game, truthfully. I'm on my phone a million miles away from you. So I don't need to be in the midst of it. And you don't need to be in the midst of any situation that I may or may not have. So it's too crowded in the relationships, and that's why it's not working.
Yeah, because plenty of times where I was talking to, well, I'm with my lady and everything like that, and I could quite literally hear her homegirl's talking points coming out of her mouth as she was trying to describe something to me. And I was like, you know what? You got it. You got it.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, I think there's a lot of influence that's happening, whether intentional or not. I'm not saying that the CIA is giving us love and hip hop,
Belt to ass.
but it's certainly
They winning, y'all. They're winning.
but it is certainly it's certainly disturbing to see how easily people, and I think we spoke about this on the previous episode, Keem, where it was like a lot of y'all are picking up your personalities from social media and your values and all of these things from external sources, and that's bleeding into these romantic relationships, and a lot of men are getting red pilled inadvertently.
It's not just mental. It's not just mental.
There are women who are being, we don't have, is it red pilled when you're a girl? Like, I'm talking about a very specific, like, type of influence. But, like, yes, we're all being influenced one way or another, men and women. And I think if you don't step away and ask yourself what's important to you and what's important to the person you're dating, it's very easy to just regurgitate things that you've heard on the internet. And it's not attractive.
I mean, I feel like it's because most people just take what they want from the internet and just attach it to themselves without asking themselves why.
Yes.
Like, you're just taking this shit probably because it seems attractive to you, but you're not ever asking yourself, why do I want to actually embody this type of
Yes.
energy? And at the end of the day, like, once you realize why, do you really want that to be a part of you?
Yes, I agree. I think it's also like it's like we have like these parasocial relationships or like secondhand embarrassment from things that have quite literally never happened to us. Like that girl who did the Who Did I Marry, and then it turned into a TV show. It was like 12, like it was like 50 or 60 parts. She had no idea who she was involved with, and she met this person via the internet. And now I think a lot of people absorb that embarrassment and carry that into their interactions where they're like, oh, well, I don't know if you're one of those people that's like out here faking who you are on the internet. And I'm like, you just watched Who Did I Marry on TikTok, didn't you? Because this quite literally has never happened to you. And that's not to discredit or minimize that woman's experience. But just because she went through that doesn't mean that I'm now going to carry the same suspicions.
And you know what? One thing I also want to go into there, and I think this is the issue because a lot of people these days go like, "Oh my God, where are the yearners? I need a real yearner and everything like
Mhm.
that." You can't yearn without the possibility of embarrassing yourself. The
That's
guys back in the '90s in those R&B videos when they had the boombox in the rain, you don't think that's embarrassing?
it's so embarrassing.
Yes, it's embarrassing, but guess what? I'm gonna still do it because
Yes.
I need you. I don't want you. I
Yeah.
need. You know what I'm saying? So
Need
that's
is the
that.
operative word.
And I think that's the issue with, like, I don't want to say it's like, again, we're trying to attach olden things to like our new modern situation and everything like that. And that could be everything from patriarchy, gender roles, yada yada yada, marriage, and all that sort of stuff, and everything like that. But it's also sort of like we have to look at the reality that, like, in our generation, people don't want to be embarrassed anymore.
Yeah.
And the issue is, if you don't try,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying? Like, if you don't try in the relationship because you're like, oh, I'm gonna be Mr. Nonchalant, like, oh, or I'm gonna be, oh, I'm Miss I get niggas, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's just a bad look because now I'm looking at you, you're telling me that, and I'm like, oh, perfect. Now I'm wasting my time. Cause
Yeah.
I need me a I need me a Miss what's her name again? Miss she's from one of those '90s shows again. Forgot her name. But I need somebody from the '90s. I need
Okay.
somebody who's worth being in the in the ring with that boombox for. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
I think just that word with just want to touch on that word about being embarrassed. It's okay, especially in a relationship. It's okay to be embarrassed.
Yeah.
Did
Yeah.
you
I
die?
mean,
I
yeah.
to
It's
die.
okay to like someone. Oh, I'm sorry. I kind of cut you off, Rose.
No, you're fine. I'm just saying, like, it's okay to be embarrassed. Like, it's okay to fall down. It's a part of life. And I feel like you trying to fight some level of embarrassment. Honestly, if you're constantly fighting discomfort, you will never progress in this life. Relation and outside relationships too. Like, that's just what it is. You want to sit here, be cool, be all calm, be all Mr. Nonchalant, while a woman of your life is getting married.
Nope.
What are you gonna do
Now
about
your
that?
chest
Yo, wait, yeah,
hurting.
not too
Now
much,
your
because
chest is hurting.
that's what happening to me right now. Not too much, y'all. Not too much. I'm still not over that. I'm still not over that. Be careful, y'all. I might start crying.
Now everybody chest hurting. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think, yeah, no, that is a really good point that you raised, Rose, because I think somebody on TikTok said something similar where they were like, you worked hard to get your doctorate degree, you've worked hard to get the job of your dreams, the house of your dreams, whatever it is. Why would you not think that why would you think that you don't have to work hard to get the person of your dreams? Like, relationships require effort. And it's okay to try really hard for the thing or the person that you want, and then maybe it doesn't work out. Like, hey, that's life. But trying hard is not a bad thing. Like, why are we okay with trying hard to get to a bag, a proverbial bag? But when it comes hard, when it comes to trying hard to get a person, all of a sudden it's like, ooh, ick.
Ooh.
Like, why is that a thing?
But honestly, also with that too, and this is going to be my little experience, and I feel like both Remy and Rose, we both talked about this, right? Because well, if y'all know me, I'm a goofy character, but I do stay with my money and everything like that. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm ranting to y'all individually, just like, oh, I'm 6 foot, I'm Nigerian, I'm an engineer, I make money. Like, why can't I find anybody, right? And I think it was Rose when she was
Do
saying
not
like,
reiterate what I said word for word.
Be careful.
Oh my
yeah, no,
god.
because
Digital
they're gonna
footprint.
hear it. They're gonna
Digital
hear it.
footprint.
But essentially, what she was saying was, so you done all this, you done your engineering degree, you got your job and everything like that. But why do you think you don't need to work for a relationship? Why do you think it's supposed to just be brought to you on a
Why do
silver
you think
platter?
you deserve a relationship?
Oh yeah, it's that.
Mm,
And I think not like I was ever like red pill for real, but I think that's what like changed my brain chemistry a little bit, where it's like, wait a
yeah.
minute, wow,
That's crazy.
it's not just the accolades, you know?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what it is. I just think most times a lot of people they act so nonchalant because at the end of the day it's like in relationships you do have to put in some effort for it to make to work.
Yes.
That relationship was not promised to you 3,000 years ago.
Nope.
Oh man.
Work like this isn't nothing in this life is like promised to you. So at the end of the day, it's like my degree wasn't promised to me. I got that. Hell, I did it 3 times. Me living alone wasn't promised to me. I had to work for that. Me doing whatever, all these skills, talents wasn't promised to me. I had to develop it. So why do you think, well, not you, but like just why do we think that these things should come to us like some fairy?
Yeah. No, that's real. Yeah. There's so many ways to look at at it. And I think that both of you guys raised some really good points for the audience. So thank you for coming on and talking about it. I think it's really important and it's a refreshing way to think about relationships in a world that can be very give us tunnel vision in a way. So thank you all for bringing your real selves here. And I hope, you all in the audience got something from this. I hope you guys take the time to think about who you are and what you want in your relationships and don't get red pilled. So I will see you all next time. Thank you. Bye.